Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. We have been discussing, providing opinions on multiple documents that were made available to the public from the Moscow Police Department's investigatory files into the crimes at 1122 King Road. One document that I wanted to bring to your attention is document number 89 because I think it has some details I don't believe the public knew before. That was written by Dustin Blaker. It is dated the 28th of December 2022, but it recalls an interview. It's a narrative of an interview with BF on November 13th, 2022, shortly after the arrival of law enforcement at 1122 King Road. You'll recall that we have learned through other documents that the call was placed from within 1122 King Road at approximately 11:56 a.m. on the 13th of November, and that the first law enforcement official purportedly arrived approximately 2 minutes later at 11:58 a.m., and that was Officer Nunez with the Moscow Police Department. This interview, according to Sergeant Blaker, occurred around 13:47 hours, which would be approximately 1:47. And this details an interview of BF at the Moscow Police Department in regards to the unalivings of 4 of her roommates, is what's stated here. According to Sergeant Blacker, B went to the blank party at around 20:30 hours with Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle. And it is understood, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this to be Saturday evening, the 12th of November, 2022. Continuing on, they hung out in an apartment for a while together. And then B went up to the main part of the fraternity to hang out at the party. Maddie and Kaylee went to the corner club together, not sure when they left. B did not see Ethan and Xana at the party and left to go to K residence at blank Taylor Avenue. This, ladies and gentlemen, I believe may be the first that we have received this detail, that BF, for example, was not at the fraternity party during the entire evening, but apparently, according to this interview, and this is shortly after the crimes, she apparently was only at the frat party for a while and then stopped off at this apartment. Then it continues to say, B walked home at around 1-ish. This would be approximately, ladies and gentlemen, 1:00 a.m., the morning of Sunday, November 13th. And when she got back to 1122 King Road, according to Sergeant Blacker, D and LM, names redacted, were at the residence and they all watched a movie together. Maddie and Kaylee got to the house at around 1:45 or 2. L left the house and D went to bed. B hung out with Maddie and Kaylee for a while in Kaylee's room. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I may interject here, what the public understood from court documents is that all of the roommates that were home, B, D, Maddie, and Kaylee, went to Kaylee's room for a while and hung out there and that a text was supposedly sent by DM to the private driver during this time, supposedly to learn if he was still on duty, as there was a discussion about maybe going out for food. So I'm a little confused about these details here. In any event, it continues on. B and Maddie took Murphy, Kaylee's dog, out to go to the bathroom between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. And this appears to be a little bit confusing to me as well, because the public understood that during this time frame that Kaylee and Maddie were trying to get a hold of JD, Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, and that there were calls placed at about this time, or minutes before 2:30, to JD by both Maddie and Kaylee. So it's confusing here, because what is being stated to Sergeant Blacker apparently is that during this time, Maddie and BF took Murphy's out to go to the bathroom. B did not stay outside for very long as it was cold. Maddie then went to bed and watched a TV show to help her sleep. Baby Daddy. This is confusing. It's unclear who watched this movie to help her sleep, and how B would know that Maddie went to bed unless she accompanied her and saw her go to bed. At around 4 or 4:20, B heard what she thought was a firework and saw a spark on the ground from under her door. B then heard Murphy barking. D called B and stated she had seen someone in the house, and B told her she could come down to her room and sleep with her. D went to B room and went to bed. They woke up at around 11 hours and talked to other friends who came over, and they checked on Xana and Ethan and found them unalived. 2 points here are a little bit confusing to me, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, we see here again B reporting this firework not from outside of the house, but from inside of the house, apparently. Because how would she possibly be able to see a spark from, for example, the parking lot of 1122 King Road from under her bedroom door? Her bedroom door is an interior door, and it is some distance away from the front door, separated by the long staircase from the first to the second floor. And secondly, the issue that they woke up around 11 when there were some texts and calls that were placed before 11 that were produced in the court files relative to the in limine briefings. This goes on to say that Sergeant Blacker signed this document on the 28th of December, 2022. It was reviewed and apparently approved of by Corporal Brett Payne that same day. If you have any comments, any feedback, please leave it here on this important, I believe, document. This is Kathy. Thank you for joining us today.